Taurus, welcome to my channel. Let's look at your energy. And then we'll look at the person on your mind or who's coming towards you as energy. And then I do Aries through Pisces. I'll look at those of you who are in no contact with somebody, see with possibility of them reaching out over the next 7 days. All right, Taurus, your energy is already here showing up in the reading, overpowering, very dedicated, very gifted, and very independent energy. Very thoughtful and compassionate as well. And so this tells me overall, this could be what somebody's really thinking about you right now. What would they do without this energy of the Queen of Pentacles? You seem to always be very supportive of somebody, and other people in your life too as well. The Queen of Pentacles knows how to take care of business. This does feel like your energy, you know? It's like you're doing what you do the best. You just every day showing up, paying attention to the details, and maybe even having a lot of patience. Beneath that, I see the Five of Wands. So I can see some internal conflict, though. Maybe you are starting to feel some pressure around a situation. You know, what's going on? You're doing your best to be patient with life in general. And this is the overall energy. So even with the people that you're connected to, this could be even showing their side of things. They're just trying to show up, you know, figure things out as they go. But there could have been an argument or conflict that has happened in the past, and you're just kind of trying to work things out and figure out what the next step is. Your energy, Ace of Cups. What's your biggest challenge right now? Ace of Pentacles. All right, let's see how you view the situation you're in. Four of Swords, or the person that you're connected to. Four Swords. All right, so I do see a little bit of space, silence here before we take the next step is what I'm getting. You have two aces showing up for you right now. So we are seeing a shift in energy right now. If you've been patient and you've been stressing out about something, wondering if something's going to work out or what to do or how to get something started, this is what's happening right now. There seems to be a reset, hitting a reset button. But this space, this challenge, if you're viewing another situation, another person kind of going quiet or, you know, taking a break or pulling away, right now that energy can feel very triggering for a lot of you. You know, why are they pulling away? Why is it quiet? Why, you know, and you're acting cool about it with that Queen of Pentacles. Then obviously somebody sees your worth. And you have to remember that Queen of Pentacles, somebody sees you as somebody very valuable, very important to their future. And you are worth the investment, right? So when the Four of Swords comes up and you feel like somebody's pulling their energy back, it could be simply they're just a little overwhelmed, or maybe you guys hit a point where there was a little bit of headbutting or some arguments or some tension. You know, Taurus, you can be, you know, stubborn sometimes when it comes to your point of view or how you want to get things done. You like to, you know, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and you like things to be consistent. And if people start to fight you on this, it can become very annoying, right? And you want things simple and peaceful. You want to find a solution. And it looks like this week, maybe somebody here, they're taking space from you, which can trigger a feeling of rejection or a feeling of, am I going to lose somebody? Or is this, you know, what's going to happen here? Why are they being quiet? You know, and it's because they're trying to reevaluate the situation. Maybe somebody is starting to see your point of view, seeing your worth too. They're starting to realize how valuable you are if they haven't already. So let's see your person. This is going to tell a different story. I see the Five of Pentacles. Your person really struggling with this situation. Maybe they weren't, you know, you got fives showing up for you right now. And fives can talk about challenges and conflict that changes us. So you're changing somebody, right? Maybe they're starting to see the light, you know, they're starting to see where you're coming from, what's going on, you know, and it looks like your person here doesn't like how things play out, and obviously doesn't like when you guys are dealing with any kind of conflict. What's their biggest challenge with you? The Knight of Pentacles. All right, wait a minute. I'm not gonna, you know, Taurus, people tend to, want to attack you at times for your pace of things. But some of us that know who you really are, we understand the consistency and we understand the value at the end of the road. You're somebody that you keep things in a straight line, you're going to follow through, and you're going to bring a lot of security for somebody. And this, your person might be struggling with this sometimes with you. The Knight of Pentacles, you get caught in your ways. It's very hard for you to change your schedule or change your way of doing things, because why change something that works, right? You're the one that shows up every day and is very responsible. All right, but somebody may be feeling too that it's becoming hard, difficult to get you to see their side of things. And to me though, your person here is dealing with some difficulties in their own life too. Could be a projection type thing. If your person's struggling, feeling worn out from life in general, maybe they're worried about finances. That could be a big one. Or they're just constantly feeling down and out about the difficulties in life. Sometimes they can bump heads with you and not want to see your point of view at times, right? Maybe they're not ready to see, right? It's like, I got to do this on my own. I got to take care of my own problems, right? And you may be somebody that's offering assistance or wants to help, wants to nurture, wants to care for somebody, right? You seem to have the practical answers, right? So why won't this person see what I'm given? Why won't this person work with me here? Let's see how they view you. I see the Star card, right? So it's nothing to do with the potential in this relationship. Somebody does see you as a blessing. Somebody does see the importance in this connection. And they do have faith that things will kind of get better between the two of you, or they're hoping that things will get better between the two of you. But depending on what kind of relationship you're in, somebody may have gotten stuck in the worries and the struggles or the arguments or the way you do things. They may have been struggling or fighting you on this path, right? So what is shifting for them this week? The Wheel of Fortune. I'll have to pull one more for that, right? But let's see their intentions towards you and what Spirit wants you to do regardless. Look at this, the Hierophant. Somebody is really seeing you differently this week. What does Spirit want you to do regardless? And I see the Page of Wands. Find the joy, find the happiness in this situation, Taurus. All right, let's sum this up. Let me pull one more card for the Wheel of Fortune. I see the Six of Swords. You've got somebody starting to see your way. You've got somebody here who is not fighting the situation anymore this week. There could be a reset. You have these aces here. Give your person a little bit of space to realize what you're trying to do, what you want. Now, your persistence is going to pay off, but I'm also seeing that this person struggles with you and what you want, what you do. It's hard for you to change. You like your way, you're comfortable in the way you do things, right? But it looks as though your person is starting to see how things run with you. And the more consistent they show up with you, the easier this relationship seems to move forward, right? So this week, I'm seeing a huge reset, maybe even sudden. The Tower card comes before the Star card, and maybe there's been a huge blowout or some space or an argument that happened that somebody went silent, or you just felt like something is, you felt stuck. You feel like somebody's procrastinating, somebody's not working towards this, somebody's not seeing your side of things. But this week, that's going to change. I'm seeing Spirit wants you to show up as the Page of Wands, which is being a little bit more fun, lighthearted. It's kind of like, don't boast or brag if somebody comes back in and says, all right, you got it, you win, right? Type of energy. You've got my attention. Because the Star card is when somebody's going through a difficult time, and I'm seeing the Five of Pentacles, it looks like your person is not liking the way things have turned out between the two of you, or even turned out in their own life. And they're starting to see that your plan made sense, all right, that you make sense, that what you're doing is actually, given them a sense of light, sense of hope, they're starting to see clearly now a way out of some sort of struggle that they're having. And they're starting to realize your value. You have the Hierophant here. What's shifting this week is some sort of loyalty, some sort of moment that you're sharing together where this person is really becoming stronger. When it comes, the connection is really becoming stronger because this person is starting to see how loyal and how consistent and how strong you are in this relationship. And they're seeing your worth. All right. So going back to the beginning where I saw the Queen of Pentacles here, and I was saying here, the overall energy is the Queen of Pentacles, somebody seeing your value and worth. And if they hadn't already, they will be now. All right. And this is you staying true to yourself. All right. Not changing who you are because somebody is struggling with the way you do things. Because in this reading, the way you do things seems to be what's creating some sort of sense of peace for your person. But maybe it took them a minute to see your point of view. All right. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about things turning around for you this week, things turning around in this relationship this week. Somebody here is starting to see the clear path forward. And the Six of Swords is telling me that you are moving forward from a difficult situation that you've been dealing with your person. Now, this Page of Wands is saying, Taurus, show up playfully, not I told you so, this is more like just smiling and smirking, and maybe inside, you're right about something is working out for you, but your person knows too, and they may not need to hear it vocally. All right. The love is growing here in a situation I'm seeing, and the aces are telling me that your person may show up this week completely different. There may be a different energy that you're picking up from your person. So if you're connected with somebody who's no contact with you right now, let's go down the line, Aries to Pisces, and see what the potential over the next 7 days is. Aries, well, the Devil card. You guys are attracted to one another. You're also addicted to a certain pattern with an Aries. So they may show up because there is an attachment, but the karma here with that Wheel of Fortune is also showing up. So if we can't figure out how to break the pattern is going to keep showing up. All right. So could be an on again, off again with an Aries. Taurus, Six of Cups. Look at this. Somebody in your arms this week realizing that they find comfort and warmth with you. Even if this is a newer relationship, sometimes people have to go a different direction for a minute to realize, what's real, what's superficial, right? But you're obviously real to a Taurus, another Taurus. And this is showing me a relationship turning over a new leaf this week for you. Gemini, the Hanged Man, maybe some silence still. All right. You might need to let go a little bit of, if you're feeling very strongly attached to a Gemini, I would say let go and just see what happens. Right now there's silence. Cancer, Seven of Pentacles. There's still a roadblock. They may be planning on reaching out, but this week they could be hesitant. Leo, I see the Ten of Pentacles, very invested in this connection. This could be a very strong turning point this week. Things looking up, things looking good. Virgo, Ace of Swords, does look like within the week you could hear communication, silence could break. Libra, the Judgment card. Again, this could be also a yes with the Judgment. Somebody here, forgiveness coming in or wanting to speak one's truth, but this could be a turning point with you and a Libra. Scorpio, Knight of Cups, a very strong romantic turning point. This is big. This could be really making a move this week that brings you guys closer. Sagittarius, they're afraid to take action right now. There may be a lot of noise between the two of you. Maybe they're still trying to deal with something that's gone down or some anxiety through this situation, but it's a no. Capricorn, Ten of Cups, I'm seeing a yes. Really feeling you, seeing a future with you this week, wanting to get together with you. Aquarius, I see a yes, Nine of Cups, all right? Remember, there's a strong desire in these, no contact, right? Somebody is really desiring a connection with you. The Wheel of Fortune can say still, though, a pattern. So remember, if you're caught up in a pattern with your people, just because they're showing up doesn't mean that pattern's not going to repeat. Pisces, I see the Magician, so I'm seeing possibilities of communication with the Pisces. So if you have a question on your mind, I'm going to pull a yes or no for you. You have a no for the question on your mind. You also have the Hanged Man here, and the Hanged Man can just feel stuck, right? Feel silent, feel quiet. All right. And maybe your person there's a pause that we picked up here, but you can see for some of you, there's a major reset happening here. Somebody's had time to think. All right. And it looks like somebody struggles more without you than with you. Right. So if you're dealing with some relationship issues, all right, the loss of you would be harder than the problems that you're dealing with in a relationship. So just keep that in mind. But the Hanged Man can say things are kind of in limbo right now, and they may not be fully defined. So remember that even with the no contact here, somebody could be coming back in, but it doesn't mean that there's definites here or the situation's actually defined, right? It just shows that there could be change that's happening in your situation. I love you guys, and until the next time, take care.